Welcome to the Women on the Wall radio show. We are excited to be with you live in studio in Arlington, Texas. And I've got Skyped in my co host, Rebecca Forrest, president of Women on the Wall. And we want to take just a second to thank our sponsors and read a little something for our sponsor today. Today's sponsor is freedomwear.org. Freedomwear.org is having a limited time special on their Don't Tread on Me t-shirts. These are extremely high quality Gillian 5.3 ounce 100% cotton pre-shrunk t-shirts. These are the exact same shirts that the military has used for basic training, so they're a high quality shirt. Available from small all the way up to 3X in classic gold, military green, and desert brown. Only $15 a shirt, or 2 for $25, or 3 for only $33, and shipping is free. This is an amazing deal, so click on the link right now and place your order for freedomwear.org. And we are just high tech and savvy, aren't we, Rebecca Forrest?
I'll tell you what, this is pretty exciting.
Let me correct on one thing. It's Gildan.
Gilded. That's right. It's a gilded shirt. Okay. I'm reading. Oh, I tell you what an amazing day we've already had. We did one segment this morning with author Robin Eubanks, who's written the book Credentialed to Destroy. And I tell you, that is going to be a fascinating segment to send out. And it's a book that people can use as a tool to go into their schools and really stand up and find out what is being taught in their child's classroom. And with Women on the Wall, we really do focus on three major issues: immigration, national security, and education. And I've been up since early this morning working with the Lisa Benson for National Security Matters radio show, and we're doing a Twitter rally, Protect America Now, and we're calling on all of our elected officials to do what they need to do to protect America now. And that leads right into what Rebecca's been doing down in Austin. In order to protect America now, we've got to have a border action plan. And Rebecca, you were involved in a press conference down at the Capitol. Is that correct this morning?
Well, I wasn't involved, but I attended, and I'm so very thankful to our friends, the Clear Lake Tea Party, the Grassroots America folks, the Tea Party Patriots. All of these people have really been working hard, and they've spent a lot of time and energy going to the border, researching what our options are for securing the border, and actually putting together a really good plan to get started. Because unfortunately, it seems that, our Texas government can't seem to get their act together. They run around talking big, but then they don't really do anything. So they had a great press conference today to roll out this. It's called the Texas Border Crisis Action Plan. And it was well attended. They had Dale Hulls was there, George Rodriguez, of course, Joanne Fleming, Heidi, is it Teese?
Heidi Teese. Yeah, she's
Teese.
Phenomenal.
And Dwayne Stovall. They all spoke, and I've sent Josh little video clips from their presentations, and they really did do a tremendous job. I tell you, one of the things that Joanne said, she said, how many ISIS terrorists have to cross the border to actually constitute an invasion? And it's very clear from the research they've done. If you just read the Texas Constitution, our governor has the power to do what he needs to do to secure this border. We do not have to be waiting on the federal government. And so they laid out a very detailed plan on what could be done. And the only thing that I have to say is that, we've watched the Texas legislature year after year after year The governor's come out and said that ending sanctuary cities was an emergency and the transnational gang crisis was an emergency, and yet they've done nothing. So it's just really sad that it's come to this, that we've elected these people who, first and foremost, they should be protecting our families. I mean,
Right.
no other thing they should be doing, that's it. And they failed miserably.
Well, you're exactly right. And Josh, can we play the clip of Heidi Teese? If we can get that going and we can hear what was actually said in that press conference.
There's nothing more important for our elected officials. There is nothing they are more beholden to, not a vote, not an election, not a campaign, nothing that they are more beholden to than the rule of law. The fact that we are here today to speak to this is a shame on our state government. Never mind the federal government. They're complicit in the lawlessness. You cannot even look to them for help because they created this problem. And it's been going on, as George Rodriguez said, for decades. It is up to us, we the people, to take back our government, including our state government, and bend it to our will. That is the purpose for which it was established, not the other way around. Shame on our elected officials. Shame on the governor, all the way down, for not performing their duty to protect this health, safety, and security of the citizens of Texas. You're leaving it to locals, and the local politicians are stepping up in droves because they, for one, take their oath seriously. And they have the courage, the intestinal fortitude, and the moral backbone to do what our state officials will not. So ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening, you talk to your local officials. You ask them to uphold the rule of law, to negate the damage that is being done by elected officials who refuse to uphold their oath. It is the honorable thing to do, and we stand before you to present a plan of action today. We don't come here to talk to you about the problems. You know what the problems are. But we have arrived with solutions. Thank you very much.
And I like what she said. We have arrived with solutions. And how do you think, Rebecca, those solutions were received by those in the press conference?
Well, obviously, you know, all of the grassroots activists were very enthusiastic about it. Some of the reporters, one gentleman actually got up and left and was very rude, walked in front of everyone and put something on the table in front of Mary. He was not happy about it. And I believe I mentioned the Fox News reporter was a little unhappy that he had been sitting there having to listen to everyone and had not gotten the plan, but evidently he wasn't there early enough to get the information that they handed out. So, but as to everyone else that was there, you know, they were very supportive of all the work that our friends have done. And it was interesting because they went into great detail about, you know, the steps that need to be taken. And a lot of that was provided in the Plyler v. Doe case, the one that forced the states to provide a public education for illegal alien minors. If you recall, we've spoken about that before. And it says, in part of that opinion, it says that we cannot conclude that the states are without any power to deter the influx of persons entering the United States against federal law and whose numbers might have a discernible impact on traditional state concerns. So it gives us the ability to actually do something because they realize that it could become a big problem. So, you know, Joanne and them have done a tremendous job about setting how that should happen. And I don't know if you had a chance to read the plan before we went on or not.
I have. I've read through it, and they've done an extensive amount of work. And what do you think what is the thought of how our elected officials are going to perceive this plan. Are they going to support it or not?
I pray that they do. I did ask Joanne a question. Because, as you know, I've been up there for many years, and people before me have been up there sounding the alarm about this, and they've just absolutely, except for a handful of them, they haven't been paying attention. They've just been not doing anything. So part of this plan is obviously to get people to be calling and faxing and emailing, and I know that that's important, but I also know that we've done all that before. We've done that before. And we've hauled, stacks and stacks and stacks of faxes and emails and letters before all these committees, and it's never done any good. And I just have to say, I think we're out of time. I mean, and it's really the ISIS threat that is a huge concern, and because these people have been pouring through the borders, as everybody knows. But not only that, it's the indoctrination of a lot of people in our Black communities that have been in prison, that have been indoctrinated into this radical Islamic, agenda. And I really think that it's much more serious now than it's ever been. So my question to them was, you give them this plan, if they still do nothing, then what's the next step?
Right.
What can we constitutionally, as people, do when our government fails totally, to uphold their oath of office to protect us? What is our next step? Because I'm praying that I'm wrong, but, I'd like to know what we can do next.
Well, and that's one of the things with the work that we've been doing on the education side, and then that our colleague Lisa Benson's been doing on the national security side. All of these issues have today. I mean, you look at it in these three issues that we're covering today, they have all intersected and they've all merged. And I think that the key is not depending on our elected officials to fix it, because generally they're not going to. And so in order to fix it, it's got to be about not just informing our elected officials, which some of them already know, but informing our friends and neighbors, because the only way that we are effective in getting to our elected officials is to take their power away.
Right.
And get them taken out of office. And we've been successful at that. When you look at Bob Hall getting elected, Stuart Spencer, Tinderholt,
Yes.
Tony Tinderholt, sorry, Connie Burton, we're working on that. But as our friend Jason Hoyt said last week, when the answer is, we'll fix this in 2 years when we elect someone new, maybe they'll fix it. Well, we've got to take things into our own hands. And I think that you're right, Rebecca. We're in a situation where parents and taxpayers and everyday citizens who've had their head in the sand for so long, there very well likely could be an attack in the next 2 weeks. And they say it's imminent. Ignorance is bliss till reality hits. And I just pray that that when it hits, that it's not completely devastating. I mean, that's really the place where we're at.
And I just think everyone has kind of forgotten what actually, all of the many things that were affected by that first attack. I think everyone's sort of been lulled back to sleep. And the fact that the Texas legislature, especially after this ISIS, after these brutal people have been murdering Americans the way that they've been, In the Texas legislature, the people there today, they know without a doubt, I'm confident, that terrorists have been coming through this border. And the fact that they are not in Austin right now it's unacceptable.
Right.
It is completely unacceptable. The first thing they have to do is to make a formal statement of invasion or imminent danger. And I cannot believe that anyone in our Texas legislature could not realize that that's where we are, regardless of what party they're in. Because when these people decide to attack us, they don't care if you're a Muslim or they don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I mean, they could care less.
Right.
It's going to affect everyone. So I thought it was interesting. One of the things that they mentioned, Alice, and you'll appreciate this, the Texas Attorney General can issue an advisory opinion or seek declaratory judgments that the state has been actually invaded or is in imminent danger, which I had asked Joanne if that meant that they could also ask for a ruling from like the Texas Supreme Court. And she said yes. So, I think that's interesting that the Attorney General has that sort of power as well.
And the thing about it is it's just like the education issue when we were fighting it earlier. They don't want to talk about it, So if they've been a part of the problem in passing legislation or being a part of the system in the past, they're in a campaign mode now.
Yeah.
And so they just don't want to talk about it. The problem is that we don't have time for them not to talk about it. No. And the only way that we're going to force them to talk about it is to make this a campaign issue. And I think that's the whole goal of the press conference, and to get everyday people, every time that there's a town hall or a meeting or a Twitter rally, we need to be tweeting these people. Greg Abbott, where are you? Protect America Now. Support the Border Action Plan. Governor Perry, where are you? Protect America Now. So and we're in a new age where what used to work of flooding the phones and sending emails, now it's holding them accountable publicly through social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they just they get so caught up in their reelection, they totally forget why they're there. And this is a little bit off, well, not really off the subject, but I was encouraged by Trey Gowdy and the way he's been handling that Benghazi, committee investigation, because he's done it out of the public eye, and he's evidently been taking depositions. He hasn't been looking for any glory, grandstanding like they normally do with all of those hearings that they have. And that's what we need more of, people who are really serious about doing what's in the best interest of the country and not their political careers. And we don't see that very often. It's very disturbing to me.
Well, and it's interesting because we think, there hasn't been a big terrorist attack, but you are exactly right. We're being attacked right now. No one's just calling it that. And it's interesting. I'm following the Twitter rally, the Protect America Now Twitter rally, and they just posted an article on hotair.com, and they said the word of the day is deliberate. On Thursday morning today, White House Deputy National Security Advisor Tony Blinken said that the Obama administration is seeking to combat the Islamic State threat as it executes one terrorist attack after another against the United States in a deliberate fashion. That's a far more generous way of confessing to to what's happening. And I think that that's what we need to say, exactly what was said at that press conference. This is happening now. Now is the time to act.
Right.
And we said it before. Okay, yes, we're not for Obama, but Governor Perry, Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, David Dewhurst, show us why you're different.
Yeah. Quit hiding behind the federal government. You know, they have an obligation, period.
They do. They really do. They
And
really do.
they have the authority, and they're just choosing not to act. So, you know, I thought it was interesting that Joanne and them have been talking about how the National Guard that the governor sent down to the border, that really all they're doing is helping with the catch and release program. I mean, that's really all they're doing. They've tied their hands. They're not able to do anything. So it was, once again, just the governor. I'm sad to say, you know, it was another political move, and it had really nothing to do with taking care of us.
Right.
And that's wrong.
It is wrong.
It's got to end. Somehow it's got to end. And I have to tell you, I'm ready to run Heidi against him. I think she would clean his clock. I think somebody like Heidi would do a great job. She's not even, I have no idea if she's thinking that far in advance, but she needs to be. That woman's, she's powerful.
She is. She is. Well, I say let's close out this segment. We're going to put together all of these videos. And thank you, Rebecca, so much for being there, for being on the ground, being at the press conference. And we're making a difference. Our children and our grandchildren's future is at risk. That's why we do. That's why we wake up every day fighting the good fight.
Absolutely. And Josh, hey Josh, thank you so much. He's been working, trying to get all this together for us, and was up with me late last night trying to make sure we could get connected. So just
That's
really
great.
Appreciate everything you do.
Yes, thank you. And just to take note, the Arlington Tea Party is signed on, as is Women on the Wall, along with Clear Lake Tea Party and so many other Grassroots America. So many other organizations across the state of Texas, and we are banding together to stand, and we appreciate so much the work that Dale Holes, Joanne Fleming, Heidi Teese, Mary Holes, so many others have spent countless hours putting this plan together, and we'll be doing everything we can to stand with them.
Absolutely.
Did you want to have any closing words?
Well, no, but I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and this is fun. This is enjoyable. So we'll just keep on trucking and see if we can get it all together and, you know, have more fun and get more information out to everyone.
Great. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.